So, what are you doing? Let's see, it is 9:30. And I came out for a ride. Make sure everything's kind of working here. I think it will. Yesterday I fixed the issues that I had with the drivetrain, because that came apart. Did I talk about that? I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Anyway. The last video that I sent out to you, I talked about all the modifications, I believe, that I made, and, you know, how long it took me and all that stuff. And then I shut that, you know, I finished that video, and I was out on that ride, and I got a flat tire. So I found, you know, a stop sign, and that had some grass around it, and I flipped it up on its side because the left rear tire was flat. I flipped it up on its right side so I could get the tire up in the air, because I didn't have the linear actuators on it that do that. You know, they lift one side or the other, you know, but I didn't have them on because I was in the process of painting them for the past, you know, 2 months. So,
unknown caller.
So I turned it up on its side, and I got all my stuff out, you know, getting ready to change the tire, and then I look at it and at the wheel, and it was weird. It looked funny. It looked funny because it had what is supposed to hold the right side of the axle on was loose, so it just came apart. So the whole axle and wheel and everything just came out. I don't know, about 2 inches, something like that. So, I mean, obviously, if that would have kept going, I would have lost the tire on the rear right. That wouldn't have been good, right? So I pushed it back in, and I brought it in, and found out that on the left-hand side, there's on the right side, there's 2 of these they call them lock collars. They call them a few things, but lock collars is one of them. And they just hold, you know, you screw them down around the axle, and it holds onto it real tight so it doesn't move. You put it up against something so it doesn't move the other way. And on the right side, there's enough room, the right side of the differential back there, there's enough room to put 2 of those in. And I have found out, because I've done a lot of research on them in the past few weeks, that those are kind of standard. You don't even have to buy them from a recumbent shop or anything, which is nice because you can get, you know, 4 of them for $17. Hello, folks. Which I have, by the way. You know, they charge you $100 for one of them, so I was very happy about that. In either case, on the left-hand side, there's only one of those lock collars, and it's much thinner and much different than all the rest. And you can't get this just from anywhere. I had to get it from the people that built this thing for me. So I knew it was, you know, it was going to be $1,000. But I figured I'd get a quote anyway, you know. So and needless to say, the quad is completely out of commission until this gets fixed, the wheels will fall off. And there's nothing, you have to, this is what you need. You don't, there's, unless I had a machine shop in my garage, I couldn't have, replaced that or made a replica or anything, So anyway, I was out of commission. So I emailed them and said, hey, can you please give me a quote on one of these things? I need it. My quad is out of commission, without it. And he emailed me back and said, well, I will, I'll ask my quad team. And then that was it. And usually, I don't know, usually he gets back to me pretty quick, and usually he's pretty good about, answering my questions right up front, probably to get me off his back, but in either case. But he didn't give me another answer, from the quad team for a day. So I emailed him back and said, so what did the quad team say? And he took a little while, and then finally got back to me a few hours later and said, well, they said that they don't use those anymore. So that's and that was kind of it. And I went, okay, so what do they use instead, and how can I get one? Meanwhile, I'm looking these things up to see, because they sent me one before, so I can see it and figure out what it is. And, I researched it and found that I couldn't get one of those little ones. I would have to buy the thinnest one I could get and then thin it out a lot with a grinder or something. So I was, thinking about my alternatives. But, he finally got back to me and said, well, I'm gonna go and scrounge around and see if I can find something, that will work for you, or find those. He wouldn't tell me what they were actually using now, but he said he'd get back to me with, and he finally did and said, oh, if I found one, and here's the quote, and it was $15. It was, well, plus shipping, brought it up to $24. But still, the whole thing, it was $24. I was sure it was going to be easily over 100. So that was a positive. That was a big positive. The other big positive was they always send you a picture, of what you bought, what they're going to send you, so that you can't say, well, that part wasn't in there or something like that. So they cover their butts by sending you a picture. Here's what we sent you. It's a real good idea on their part. So anyway, he sent me a picture, and it either showed both sides of one, a picture of one side and then the picture of the other side, so that, I don't know, I knew that it wasn't marred or anything. I don't know. Or it was a picture of two of them, which, I didn't order two, I ordered one, but I was going to ask before all the, trouble. I don't know, they don't know what they use now, and I don't know where one of the old ones is, and on and on. I just figured I wouldn't ask him for a second one, so I would have a spare, because that's what I wanted. But come to find out, in the mail, a week later or whatever it was, there were two. He sent me two of them, which is, pretty freaking incredible from these people. And, he could have charged me 80 and said, each one of them was 40, but he didn't. He charged me $15 and he sent me 2 of them. And I'm very happy about that. Extremely happy about that. So anyway, that finally came in. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Anyway, it came in, and I put it on. Yeah, I installed it yesterday, and I put it on, and I was thinking about it beforehand, but, while it was being sent to me, how I was going to do it and everything. And I got everything perfect. I even, I didn't, because the only thing that was loose was on the left-hand side. A couple of screws on the left-hand side, that's all. So all I had to do was just put this clamp on it, and then put the axle in the differential and lock those 2 bolts that hold the axle to the differential, and then lock down the clamp that I just put on there, and then it would be done. But I figured I'd go the whole 9 yards, and I undid the whole thing across both axles, all the differential, everything, took it all apart, and then put it all back together again. Made sure I did everything perfectly, everything aligned up, everything. It was beautiful. And then I went out on a ride. Oh, and I was thinking that I should, just to see, I should check the rear left wheel to see if it's if there's something stuck in there, something sharp, or if I screwed up when I was if I screwed something up and made something sharp in there when I built the wheel, if that was the wheel that I built, because I've been getting a lot of flats. So I was going to do that, but I didn't. And what did I do? I got antsy, so I went out on a ride. And what happened? I didn't get a flat, but the chain derailed. And there's no reason for it because it's lined up. So there was a problem. I knew that right up front. So I ran in the back and looked, and sure enough, somehow the right side axle came out about 1 inch. I'm like, ah! And then on the way back home, limping, on the way back home, I thought to myself, I was so concentrated on that left-hand side. I don't remember tightening the 2 lock collars on the right. I don't remember that. I'll bet you I left those 2 loose, and all that was holding on was 2 little set screws. And sure enough, when I took it, put it up on the lift, that's exactly what it was. So this morning, what I did, that's why I'm so late. This morning I went and I checked the left tire, and sure enough, there was something sharp inside of it that would have given me a flat at some point soon, because it would have. So I was really glad that I found that, and it was just a little thorn or something, but it was long enough. It could have easily given me a flat. So I changed that. I'm trying to see what the time is, but I can't because it's so small. All right, we got plenty of time. So I fixed the tire. I pumped up all the tires. I put put it up, and found that sure enough, those 2 lock collars were spinning around freely. I didn't lock them at all. Once I unlocked them, unscrewed them, I just left them like that. So of course it came apart. So anyway, I went through the whole thing. I locked everything down. So now I'm not worried about anything because everything is perfect. But I'm still, you're always just listening to everything creaks and groans. What's the deal? Anyway, so I got that all done. So now we're back. Hopefully we're back anyway for good. I finished all the painting. I put the linear actuators back on the quad, and they look awesome. I wired them all up and everything. So now if I get a flat, which hopefully I won't ever again, I'll be able to just lift one side or the other, or the front or whatever up. So I'm very, very happy with that. That's a big relief. So I'm kind of finished because I finished, the bottom of the box that holds the big battery in the back. And I made everything look real pretty that goes, all the electronics, I made them look real nice, that are sitting on that. And it's all painted red, and the linear actuators are painted red, and everything's all matchy-matchy. So it looks pretty good. It looks really, really good. The only thing that right now anyway, that I'm thinking of to do is to paint the monkey on the front, that anodized red, because I think that'll tie the whole thing together. And I'll show you guys, like I always say, I'll show you the what it looks like when I finally get it all done, It should look pretty cool. It looks real cool right now. The only other big thing that I'm thinking about is, and I think I said this maybe once on a recent video, that I want to give the canopy one last try, because it was sturdy enough. Because that's the thing that I was worried about with the other canopy that I had on this thing. It was flopping all around, and I didn't want to. I hated that. And then it had two cords up front here that had to be anchored, that kind of impeded me getting up in and out of it. I just didn't like it. And then the more recent one that is made out of aluminum tubing, kind of like like the big sturdy bars for tents they used to have, not the little bendy ones now, but the ones that used to stick in one another. That's kind of like the tube that it is, and it's much sturdier. I was really impressed. The only problem is, because of the bends and how to put it inside this little bag that it goes inside to make it, you have to break it apart like 4 times. So there was 2 points, because it went up and down like this, or it was trying to, it came loose, so it bent down. So I thought, well, if it does that, if it comes apart, why not just put some, JB Weld or something on it, and make sure that it doesn't do that anymore, and then just make sure it's real sturdy because it attaches to the back of the seat. Just make sure it's real sturdy on there, so it's not going to come flying off or anything like that, and it should be good to go. Or, one would hope. And then I was thinking, while I was on the whole painting thing, I should paint that thing, because it has a black cloth, whatever it is, tarp material kind of stuff, in the top. That's what it's made out of. and then the tubing is all around it, goes all the way around it. And if I made it red, it would tie everything in. It would be nice. But I haven't even tried it yet. I'm just thinking about it. Because, I can't stop. I have a sickness, people. But that's all I've really thought of doing. I don't know of anything else I can do to this thing other than completely enclose the cockpit here and air condition it. But I guess the key is I'm having a really good time with it. I guess that's the big thing I should think about, right? Because I definitely am having the time of my life. The only wish is if Jen could, do it with me. That would be the ultimate. But Stephen can come out. Stephen comes out every once in a while. So that's nice. Morning, bud.
Morning.
I was thinking about making sure I was going to stay just around my neighborhood, and I just kind of looked up, and I'm over on Crosstown already. I guess I just really wanted to get out. So, let's see, what else to talk about? Not sure. Maybe we'll just ride until we think of something, huh? The funny thing is, I know that it's solid because I've built it that way. It's solid as hell. But I'm still kind of babying it. Because I don't want it, I don't want it breaking down again. That's a shitty feeling. Even though it's, not that big of a deal because I have the reins that I can just walk behind it when those are attached like a shopping cart. That's nice. That made it nice yesterday, actually. Alright, that one's good. And alright, that one's good. So both axles are good. Very pleased with that. All right. What do we got? 24 minutes. Oh, that's nice. Okay. We got a few more. All right. So, everything's good. Everything's nice. The waxed chains feel very nice. I'm deliberating about getting the 11-speed chains because I have two 2 of my 4 chains replaced and waxed, and the front one that I replaced is this one right, between my legs on the boom. And I think it might be a little bit too wide. It's a single speed. I think it might be a little bit too wide, that it may rub. So I'm thinking about replacing that, and then I'll have to get 2 chains to put together, splice together, to make the long one in the center, which is attached to the rear cassette. So I'm kind of debating what I want to do. I'm thinking I'll probably replace, have three of them with the 11-speed chains, and then just one of them, the 1-speed, the single speed. I think that's probably what I'm going to end up with. So we'll see. We'll see. So anyway, I'm very, very, very happy to be out again with you guys. Thanks for coming back and joining me. Hopefully I can stop modifying, so I stop breaking stuff and get these things out more consistently. That's the one thing that I think that I really lack in. I need to get much, much better. Otherwise, I don't think I'll grow. So anyway, thanks so much, you guys, and have a great day.